Club, yeah, and moved it in. But I used to go I used to roller skate.
In the basement.
They used to have roller skating on Saturday. Yeah, and a friend of mine, Carol Potter, her father worked for a Great Western Sugar Company till the 9th grade, and then he moved away. He had to go to Brighton. And that was a very sad day. But she and I and other people, we'd go back. Or we'd go to the movie theater. Yeah.
That was on Main Street,
Right
where
on
there's
Main
that little,
Street.
between 5th and
Yeah.
6th, where there's a little park gazebo.
Right. Gazebo now. Yeah, that's where you went too. And the owner always said, oh boy, you knew when there were some of these German from Russia kids, because you could hear the clicking of the sunflower seeds.
Oh. Those are good.
Yeah.
So,
Gets
you
a lot
know,
of that.
it's August of 2020. We're a couple months into the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
And, you know, this is probably the first hardship a lot of my generation has experienced.
Right.
Or, you know, what would you want us to know and learn from that? What would you think has helped you in that situation move through difficult times?
You have to be patient, and you have to listen and decide what's best for you. You know, you can't let everybody tell you this, that, or the other, you know, that you're doing this wrong or that wrong. You need to be grown up and personable enough to know right from wrong and do it yourself. Yeah, my hair's kind of long. I haven't been to the beauty shop since we've had this pandemic, because I'm actually a little bit afraid to get out, you know. With my age and all, they say I'd probably be the first to go.
Yeah.
Because of it. So anyway.
Did you have childhood illnesses that people haven't had to deal with or have been vaccinated?
Well, after we moved back to Windsor, and I was in 4th grade, I got scarlet fever. And the county nurse came, and we were quarantined. My mom, my little sister, and we could not leave for so many days. So my dad could not come home from work, and my sister Roberta could not come home from high school. So they stayed with my grandma, Fritzler, on Main Street. And so I had scarlet fever and got through that with Dr. Sabin. Dr. Sabin and I always had an interesting relationship, because he was there when I was born, and of course had all the records of growing up as a little girl. And then he was there when I had scarlet fever. And then I just got over scarlet fever, and I was roller skating. And I hit the tree that was in front of the Christian church's minister's house and broke my arm. So I had to go see Doc. And he always made this funny noise with his mouth, you know, that was a kind of a little hissing sound. But then I found out a little bit later, when I started Colorado A&M, you had to go in and have a checkup and have your record and health record. That's when I found out. He and I always had this relationship because he and I were born on the same day, July 6th. And I even took my little kitty one time when it had a hurt leg up there, and Dr. Sabin kept him for the night and brought him back the next day with kind of a little crutch on his leg. But remember, he was the one that would always blow the whistle
for the football games.
Well, for the beet harvest when the plant opened. Yeah, it was Dr. Sabin that would say, "Okay, the Windsor Sugar Factory is now open." and then those sugar beets would start rolling in,
And that was
and he would, and when it ended, he would be the one that would announce, you know,
the campaign was
the
over.
campaign is over, the sugar is done, and it's in the towers.
Which was
Yeah.
quite a significant event,
Mhm.
year in and year out. It meant a
And
lot.
I always thought it was, he would take a rifle to the football games. And at the end of the quarter, he would shoot it off and everybody knew the quarter had ended. Or, you know, the halftime.
Uh-huh.
And today, wouldn't we just panic?
Yeah. See, the middle school, Windsor Middle School football field used to be called Dr. Saban's Field.
Yeah.
And then they had a little field house up there from when it was
Yeah.
the high school. And that sign came down, we need to get that resurrected in these stories.
Oh, well, yeah, because he was a long time.
Yeah. Now, where was his Dr. Saban's office? On Main Street?
On 5th.
Okay.
You know where the bank used to be on the corner?
Yes.
The big bank on the corner? And then there was a lawyer's office, and then there was Dr. Saban's office.
Okay.
And his sister, who was not any way connected to health because she had her degree in music, and she gave piano lessons to I don't know how many kids. In Windsor, they would go to Mildred, and she would give piano lessons. But anyway, after Dr. Saban had died, and they lived right next door to Coach Martin, and he was a coach in Windsor who taught, I forget what it was he taught, but he was a good basketball coach, and Windsor did very well under him. And he had 4 children and lived right next door to Dr. Saban. But his wife was not a good housewife at all. In fact, I would babysit sometimes for the Martin kids. And I would bring in the step stool from the kitchen and sit in it and watch the mice run around the living room. But he was a good coach. And the kids, so the Sabans would take in on a weekend one of the kids, and they'd take them and buy them some decent clothes to wear and clean
Because
them
they had
all
never,
up.
neither of them had married or had children, so they were
No.
like
Yeah.
aunt and uncle or to a lot of people
Yeah,
in town.
and would take care of those 3 kids that, but she was a reader and just didn't care about the house or
Yeah.
I can remember sometimes when I would babysit him and I'd want to put the little boy to bed, I had to look for a dry spot on the mattress, you know, because it hadn't been changed or anything.
Yeah.
So, but I was the babysitter for the boys. I babysat the Dudley boys.
Oh.
I babysat the Fraser boys.
The Leisure's Drug. Yeah.
Yeah. The leisure drug today, yeah. And, well, and then I babysat for Gerhard Bruner and Mary Bruner's Johnny,
Johnny. Yeah.
yeah.
And that. So, well,
And-
before we wrap it up, I would like to know: is there anything that you wanted me to ask you about that you didn't get to speak of?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
No,
We-
but anyway, that's
Windsor has changed. And
Windsor
you've
has
seen
changed.
It. And
while I was working working with Hedinger, Lydia Hedinger, who got me the job at the Old Town Hall, being part of Windsor-Severance Historical Society, Sue and I became good friends, and then when things kind of were coming apart, Sue and I said, let's connect us again. And we started doing interviews, and doing some of the other things to connect, back to Windsor's Historical Society, because it was pretty important.
It is.
Because even like when we were at Park School, I don't know if you ever remember, Mrs. Kofel was the principal when I was a young kid. And then there, Mrs. Phillips was the music teacher. And at Christmas, we would all stand outside of our room, and she had moved the piano out in the hallway down there, and she would play a Christmas carol, and we would all sing.
That would sound wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was coming from here, there.
Oh,
That's just the way you did things back then. Don't do that anymore.
yeah.
And when the bell rang to come in, everybody had their place on the steps that would be let in, well, 6th grade lines up here, 5th grade here, 4th grade, and you did it.
They do some of that now.
Or do they choose?
And more with COVID, they'll have to.
Yes. And we use the auditorium a lot.
Oh, what the third floor that's now the council chambers.
Yes.
What do you remember about the third floor auditorium?
Well, it was an interesting class. Can't remember what they called it. But it was one where you would socialize and learn. You always had to learn a poem or something. And then you'd have to present it up on the stage, And
Recitation.
recitation, and I don't know what would have ever happened if we'd have had to climb down those fire escapes steps up there. But
It was a beautiful, beautiful.
yes, and Mrs. Phillips always had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas program. We all had little white robes we would wear, for the Christmas program. Yeah, and everybody, and the parents used to come, and we used to enjoy those Christmas programs that we put on there.
Well, I thank you for your sharing of lovely memories,
Oh,
Marge,
okay. Well, thank you.
And we look forward to seeing and hearing more about Windsor history from the
Okay.
people that you have preserved it with.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.